Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Market chart pattern today is 22nd of April 2025. Hope everyone is having a good day. We will take a look at the key US technology stocks that we follow in this video segment. As always, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not a financial advice. So let's start by taking a look at the stock of Tesla. The earnings came out today. I don't know how the earnings were. We just look at the technical picture because in my opinion, the news follows the price. So we have key patterns that have been forming. So we'll just discuss those. So Tesla stock has been under a lot of pressure, a great deal of pressure. So let me actually show you our long-term chart that we had been following here, going back a few years. In fact, back in 2023, we came up with the target of $500 per share level for the Tesla stock, and at that point, no one was talking about it. In fact, I received comments on the channel saying that it wasn't possible. They could see I don't know, some other level being reached by 500. Well, this is what the patterns were calling for, and we didn't exactly hit the $500 even. But we hit $488.54, which was close enough. And then we had this kind of a candle. You can see there's a big wick on the monthly chart. So of course the pattern was complete there. Now it can make another attempt towards it and maybe even exceed the $500 per share level. If the CD legs extend, then it's likely to get extended by 1.272 times the AB leg, and even beyond that as well, but we'll take one thing at a time. So let's go back and take a look at what is happening now. So the stock has made a big retracement. It's down about 55% from its peak to the recent lows right here, and it's come right into this shaded region where we are expecting a support because it's filled this gap as well. So now I'm expecting more of a sideways behavior. I was really surprised on the 10th of March because we had some really key patterns completing here, but when we had this down day, it was a surprise. But I get often surprised, but I'm never in doubt. Uh, so this region was still held, and I think the reason I was a bit of a surprise was because I had missed this gap formation right here, and I was focusing too much on the patterns, but the gap filled, and we are just ever since it's been over a month now in a range bound situation, which is good because there's a lot of accumulation, in my opinion, happening right here. Um, so the earnings are out, and the trading view is telling me the stock has a positive pop to the upside by not too much, but still it's not down, which is really interesting. Again, what matters is how the stock is going to close tomorrow. So as long as this level is held, it's got a chance to rally, and we could expect a rally to about $318. Now, if this level is broken to the downside, the stock could go and much further down, maybe even to $100. So I think it's really, really key that this level is held in Tesla stock. Okay, now let's take a look at Apple. Here we go. So this is daily chart of Apple, and here it completed this nice ABCD pattern right here in the orange, where the CD leg is extended by 1.272 of the AB leg, and this red ABCD is where the CD leg was 1.618 times. And then what we were expecting was when the market began to rally, the stock to get into this region. These are resistance levels, and this is what happened. The market went between the 38.2% 50% resistance levels, and it has moved lower. So I'm expecting the Apple stock to actually just remain a range bound between these levels, and we can see it retrace about 50% of it, and maybe we might see some big swings up and down, up and down. But the chances are we might have seen a pretty good low on the 8th of April in the stock of Apple, as long as that low is held. And then if we just move to the weekly chart, here we can see that this is the trend line in red. Apple broke below it but never closed below it, which is really a strong sign. So I think in my opinion, as long as the 7th or the 8th of April lows are held, they are likely to be a pretty important low for the rest of 2025 for the Apple stock. So really, really interesting what is happening here. Now let's take a look at Amazon. There we go. Amazon stock has also been hit pretty hard. It is kind of consolidating right here. The chart looks pretty messy, but it's right into this region where there's a confluence of several retracements right here. One fact I do not like is that the price actually closed below on weekly basis below this trend line. So compared to Apple, I think this one has more weakness in the stock. But what is really interesting is how the stock is looking on the daily chart. Here we go. So what we can see is it had this. Let me show you this 50% retracement done, and then really nice rally right to the 38.2%. Then I was expecting it to get into this retrace into this region, which is support, and it's kind of done that now. So really key is if Amazon could get above this 192 195 level, that will show that there's good strength coming into the stock, and we might have seen a pretty important low in in Amazon, and it could rally. So I think it's more of a consolidation, which is likely to take place here. If these lows of the 7th of April are broken to the downside, I think it's just gonna open up a massive downside in the stock, but the chances are more of consolidation in this region. Okay, now let's take a look at Microsoft. So here we go. I'm gonna show this on the weekly chart because this is where we were following it. Here we go. Something really interesting happened in this stock, in this Microsoft stock. So it has retraced pretty much what the 2022 bear market was in a matter of well, I shouldn't say matter of few weeks, because the top came in July of 2024. And if you recall, we were looking for this kind of move to happen for quite a while on the channel, and finally it did. It retraced almost 50% of this leg, and now it is consolidating right here. So really interesting what is going on in the Microsoft. I believe in my opinion, again, the 7th of April low is really important, and it might be more of a consolidation affair right here, and the chances are that we might have seen an important low for 2025 in the Microsoft stock, and the stock will rally from here. The ideal situation is that the stock actually strengthens and get above this level of 392, which is the 38.2% retracement. Then we'll be looking at the next target of 420, which will be the 61.8% retracement. So really interesting stock. What is happening with Microsoft? While it was right here, even in the beginning of the year, we were not a fan of the stock because the price action and the kind of forecast we were doing was the stock would pull back right into this 360, 350 region, and we have seen that happen now. So that's good. Let's take a look at the next stock, NVDA. Here we go. So the NVIDIA is one stock which I'm a little bit, cautiously uh, bullish or optimistic. And the reason is, look, if you look at this entire price section right here, it's just a big range bound. So as long as 75 is held, it's more likely to remain this range bound. So rally from the bottom of the range and the top of the range could get sold out. We had this nice ABCD pattern come in, and that came in right in November of last year, and we have just seen the stock move sideways to lower. So it remains this kind of range bound price action. Could it be forming a head and shoulder pattern? I don't see too much of symmetry right here. So I think it's more of a range bound behavior, but I think stocks which are related to semiconductors, we need to be a little bit more careful, because what we have seen with the deep seek is, the competition is catching up. Let me put it that way, and I'll just show you the chart of AMD as well. So here we go. This is the pattern that I had drawn in the shaded region for a good support to come in, and we have seen a nice rally. The rally is being stopped right at this 38.2% retracement. Let me actually move the text to the right hand side, easier to see. Here we go. Even in the orange I've mentioned that. So in my opinion, it really needs to get above this to get stronger and maybe test the top of the channel, uh, the trading range, excuse me. So let's take a look at the AMD now. So the AMD stock is really interesting in the sense that it's just been way oversold. And then we had several of these ABCD patterns completing right here. We saw a nice rally, but then the rally just made a double top formation, and actually the stock plunged even lower. Now, what is interesting is this stock actually has gone below this 78.6% retracement. You can see that. So that is not a good sign, and it needs to snap back up, but it's way oversold as well. So we are watching this really, really carefully. And this 8th of April lows in particular, if it is held and the stock just goes sideways, and if it snaps back up this 20-day moving average, that's going to be a pretty strong signal for the stock that maybe there is accumulation which is coming in this stock. Now on the fundamental levels, it's the AMD company is run by a fantastic CEO, and of course with the NVDA being their biggest competitor, they are catching up with Nvidia, but the strategy is a little bit different. And if you look at the gaming world, AMD was dominating that. And then, of course, the whole artificial intelligence things as it broke out, that's when the Nvidia began to dominate. So I'm sure they are looking at the scenarios taking place, the demand coming from artificial intelligence side of things, the GPUs. So they must be making amends to their design and bringing new products, which could be even cheaper. And we have already seen with DeepSeek that you could use hardware which might not be top of the range, meaning it's, in other words, it's cheaper, maybe a little bit outdated as well, and you can still train your models. Then I think AMD could actually become a pretty good stock to watch. Now, that's all the fundamental stuff, and as I said before, price reflects in the news, or the news follows the price. In other words, so we'll just keep on watching the technicals, and that will give us a lot more clues. But the likelihood is that this 8th of April low could prove to be a pretty important low, and we could see more of consolidation right here at the 61.8% retracement level. And then if the stock gets, stronger in the sense that it just goes range bound right here, the moving averages will begin to catch up, and then once it begins to close consistently above the 20-day moving average, that's when we begin to take a deeper interest into the stock from momentum perspective as well. So let's keep on watching AMD. Really bullish on their CEO because she has done it before, taking AMD to new heights, and of course with that kind of skill and experience, I'm sure they'll be looking at the new demand coming out as well, and building their products accordingly. Okay, now let's take a look at Roblox. So Roblox is really, really interesting. You see this orange line right here. So let me show you guys on the weekly chart here. Here we go. So for a very, very long time, we had been watching this stock in this accumulation. So long-time subscribers will know. But we had this $63 to $65 as our target because it was the 38.2% retracement. And finally, the stock made that retracement. And then when it did that, then I had drawn this kind of a pattern just to show that, when we have this big move down coming out of the earnings, the stock is most likely entering a corrective phase, and it could be a simple ABCD correction, or it could be a complex one in which we could have one leg like this, one leg going above, and then a third leg which could end right here, maybe a little bit lower. And this is exactly how it panned out. So you can watch the old videos. Even I'm a little bit surprised that it actually panned out in a complex corrective formation. So really interesting. Now going back to the weekly chart, and as long as these lows are held, this one, we could be in this CD leg higher. So we can see $95, which is going to be the 61.8% retracement for the stock. So really interesting. Now let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix pretty strong. I think it made a new all-time high this week, so that is even interesting, even more interesting, I mean. And here we go. So I mean, yeah, I mean, could it be a double top? I do not know, but strong, very strong. Excuse me, excuse me. Strong. The stock is getting stronger. Looks pretty strong in this environment in particular. So this is what we are watching for these key technology stocks in the US market. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.